Picture this. It's 2007. YouTube is a little baby YouTube, and there are two brothers who are about to embark on an adventure that will lead them in directions they never could have expected, including, eventually, actually having a shocking amount of impact on education in America. This is the story of Complexly. So back in 2007, John and I, we started the Vlogbrothers channel, sharing thoughts with each other, just goofing off. We did not know what we were doing. It's not that we didn't know what we were doing. It's that we were not doing anything in particular. What we were doing was just trying to make video letters back and forth to each other.
Hey, John.
The first year, we did that every day. So John would do a day, I would do a day. When you're doing that for so long, you have to come up with ideas for videos. I think the first or second video John ever made was him discussing like what was going on in Nepal at the moment, which is kind of like a current events video and an educational video. But I think in 2009, John and I did like an education week where he made videos about the French Revolution and I made a video about the circulatory system because it was the time and we needed to do something. And it turned out that those videos did super well. I mean, like mine was called Blood and that like this was the thumbnail. So I'm not afraid of getting clicks, but people really liked them because they learned from them. But they also like used the tropes and techniques of a YouTube video on the YouTube platform. But importantly, that was hard. Like those were difficult videos to make, and so we didn't keep doing them. Just the process of writing them was so much harder than a normal Vlogbrothers video that it became like, oh, I'm glad we did that experiment, and then we never did it again. That was until YouTube reached out to us and they said, hey, we're doing this thing called Made for Web, or the Original Programming Initiative, or the YouTube Original Programming Grants. It depends on who you ask. There's a Wikipedia page for this. I'll open it. YouTube Original Channel Initiative is, I guess, the official name. And participants included Madonna and Pharrell and RJ Williams and Shaquille O'Neal and Amy Poehler. But if you go to the Tube Filter article that came out about this and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will find that YouTube gave money to Vlogbrothers Crash Course and Vlogbrothers SciShow. And that is really the birth of Complexly, where we got this money to make educational content. And when we were trying to figure out, because they reached out to us and they were like, we need a presentation in 3 days. So I had a ton of ideas and I sent John all of my ideas. One of them was like a Pilates channel. But John, he convinced me that we should focus on education for 3 reasons. 1, we had done it and knew we could do it. 2, we had done it and seen that people were excited about it. And 3, we'd done it and seen that people were excited about it, but couldn't do it without help. And that really was the birth of Complexly. When we got those 2 grants funded by YouTube, we had to hire up very quickly. I'm also going to make a video during the Learnathon showcasing the actual PowerPoint presentation that I gave to YouTube to pitch SciShow, including the budget, which you could see, which is embarrassing. I didn't know how to pitch stuff. This was entirely new to me. I was a child. I was like 31. And wildly enough, both SciShow and Crash Course grew fast enough and well enough and made enough money that they became eventually self-sustaining YouTube channels, and Complexly became a company that made ever so slightly more money than it spent. Not every year, but most years. SciShow was really my brainchild. I wanted to do like science news. Crash Course was John's. He wanted to do something that would integrate directly with schools and help students and teachers directly. We thought they were going to fund one of the two, and then they funded both. And there's something interesting about Complexly, and I think this is sort of reflected by my leadership style, which is that there are a lot of different channels, and they are all kind of done differently. Crash Course is funded mostly by crowdfunding and grants, like granting agencies, PBS and Google and Howard Hughes Medical Institute. We've got money from a lot of different places. SciShow is mostly crowdfunding and brand, like regular advertising and brand deals. Eons is actually a show, like a traditional show where we could get canceled. We don't own the show. We produce it. We are the production company that makes Eons, but PBS owns Eons, and if they didn't want to make Eons anymore, it would stop existing. They do though. They love Eons and we have a great relationship with them. Bizarre Beasts is funded mostly by merch, like the Pin Club. That's the only reason Bizarre Beasts can exist. Journey to the Microcosmos, over the years, it sort of lost money, made money, and we're wrapping up on that project now, but it made most of its money by selling microscopes, which is not usually how you make money making a television show. And also, of course, by crowdfunding. And like the Bizarre Beasts Pin Club is kind of a crowdfunding endeavor as well as a merch thing. With the thing over and over again that we see is that we've tried very hard to make these channels successful, to help them reach as many people as possible. That is a huge priority at the company. But we also try very hard to get more resources behind them so that we can make sure that the content has the resources it needs in order to be effective and true and good in the world. And that's expensive. The original reason John wanted to do educational content is because it needed extra resources. From the very beginning, the stuff that we do, it wasn't possible just on its own. We created a crowdfunding platform that then got acquired by Patreon because we knew we weren't going to be able to do the work that we do without that support. Complexly has gone through a lot of different eras over the years, and there's a lot of different bits of Complexly. And I think a lot of people don't even know that Complexly also does Eons and SciShow and Crash Course and Bizarre Beasts and Microcosmos. Oftentimes people will be like, oh, is that your voice on Microcosmos? That doesn't sound like you. I'm talking like this. Thank you for coming this journey with us as we explore the unseen world that surrounds us. It's a different vibe. Complexly, over the years, has created over 9,000 pieces of content, most, the vast majority of those being YouTube videos, the rest's podcasts and short form video. And we've had more than 5 billion views on that content. And what we're doing now is we're saying, okay, we've got all these things. They're going to work together for just a little while. We're going to celebrate the work that we do here at Complexly. We're going to celebrate the people who do that work, whether they are employees or contractors. And we're going to have a month where we are grateful to the people who get Crash Course coins or support us on Patreon. We also ask new people to join those folks at complexly.com/learnathon to help us have the strongest foundation from which to build. And I'm so grateful to everybody who supports what Complexly does, whether you are somebody who works on one of the shows, whether you have donated money, or whether you just love what we do. But if you do want to donate money, complexly.com/learnathon. There's an opportunity to do that there. The very first thing we will send you is me doing a ridiculous dance that I just recently filmed. I didn't want to say I was going to do it until I'd done it. And it is to this music right here. But it's better than this dance. It's not better than that dance. But you'll enjoy it more. There are lots of ways to get involved. If you watch Complexly stuff, you'll find out about it. But I'm so amazed and overwhelmed and grateful that this thing happened. And we worked hard for it. But it seems so impossible that it found the success that it did, and that everybody was able to keep pushing to make it continue to happen. And now, 13 years later, we are still at it. Still making. And I think that there's going to be a lot more of us making great stuff and helping people understand their world and find that joy in curiosity.